excellence is if you know what excellence looks like, whether you're putting on a harness, whether you're tying your shoes, you're gonna be great.
As a customer, right? They're a different kind of customer. But if you take care of the ones that are wearing the shirts, they're going to take care of the ones that pay for the roofs.
A lot of people say comparison is the thief of joy. If you can compare where you're at now and where you want to be, it's only fuel. It's only like I get up every day. I'm not there, but I'm gonna get there.
Obviously, he wants to get sales and get a deal, but it's really deeper than that for him. It's more of like, I want to make sure these people are taken care of. I want to make sure they're using the right company. I actually care that I don't want them to have a problem with my company. I want them to, and he believes that and he gives that to the customer. Welcome back to Built to Scale, the podcast where we break down how real businesses grow, what works, what's outdated, and what actually scaling companies are doing today. If you're a young entrepreneur or roofing contractor or someone trying to win rapidly in this changing industry, this episode's for you. Today we're sitting down with Javier, outside sales rep for ABC Supply, North America's largest wholesale distributor of roofing supplies. Javier is the one on the front lines every day, seeing which contractors are winning, which ones are stuck, and which sales strategies are quietly becoming obsolete. We're diving into how roofing has changed, what modern sales really looks like, how digital tools and AI are shaping the industry, and what actually takes a stand out in a crowded market. So if you know how to sell roofs, build trust faster, and a future-proof roofing business, let's build this thing and scale it. So Javier, we have a lot to talk about, bro.
Let's get it. Thank you
We
for
were just
thank you for having me on. This is exciting and I'm ready to, obviously hear and pick your brain as well,
yeah,
and obviously get to it.
let's do it, man. We were just talking a lot like right before we started this about kind of like, how what's the best like topics for us to go over, right? What would be exciting to talk about. So, I think like the best thing to start with is like just like growing up in SoCal. Like what was that? What was your like your upbringing like? How did you end up to like where you are today?
Look, I think again, first of all, thank you for having me on. And yes, growing up in SoCal has been one of the biggest blessings that I could have ever imagined. I know we could be up in Wisconsin or somewhere in the East Coast, and we could be in the negatives. But
Yeah.
thankfully, it's January here, and it's in the upper 70s, and we got sun. We had a little bit of rain, which is a little uncommon in Southern California, but that's good
Mm-hmm.
for our industry. Um, but you got the beach, you can drive 30 minutes, and you got the mountains. And I mean, if you want to drive another hour and a half, you're in the snow. So it's a pretty cool gig. It's great living here, and what better place to be?
Yeah. I've always actually had that same kind of perspective. Like you just have like everything here. Like I used to have a sales job where I had to travel like on the weekends to all the different states and just kind of see like how everyone lives in different parts of the country. And you really don't have like the culture like here with so diverse, so many good food options. You're an hour from LA, you're an hour from San Diego. Like being in Orange County is like kind of the best place. I grew up out in LA, but I think that I love what you're saying about the weather because it's so true. Like you're not gonna find anywhere else. Like there's other big cities like Miami, New York, whatever, but like you got the humidity, you got the snow. Like here, it's like exactly an hour away to the a beach, 20 minutes to the beach, an hour to the snow. Like you have everything here. Um, so you were a professional baseball player. Do I have
So
that right?
professional is not right,
Okay.
but I would say amateur.
Yeah.
Um,
But you played through college.
I played at Long Beach State, so they're
Nice.
they're a great Division 1 school
Nice.
here in California. They're like in the LA area,
Mm-hmm.
but had a great journey in that, and I mean, baseball was my life before I started in roofing, and it taught me a lot of great things that I think athletics teaches a lot of you know just future entrepreneurs or just people that are what I consider excellent, right? And I
Yeah.
think once you learn what excellence looks like, it translates in anything in life, whether that's working out, whether that's roofing, whether that's just being a great, partner or being a great boyfriend, being a great brother,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. And yeah, so baseball did it for 20 years. and like I said, did it since I was 3. And ultimately, when I got done my senior year at Long Beach State, got my bachelor's, was the first in my family to do that. That was pretty
It's
cool.
huge.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, coming from 2 immigrant parents who couldn't speak English, that,
Yeah.
risked it all to come to the States
Mm-hmm.
and, give me that opportunity to chase my dream
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately, get my education out of it and really paid for. So it was huge. Yeah.
What was it like playing college ball?
The best. It was like, it sounds cliche, right? But like, obviously, the best days of our life are now.
Okay.
But I would like to say that some of those, my best days were definitely during that time.
Yeah.
I mean, the networking, building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, never in my life would I think that I would have either won a state championship or gotten to travel. I mean, I actually flew for the very first time at a Division 1 school. Like that was my very first time flying. Like,
No way.
yeah, obviously they pay for all the flights, the
That's
hotels,
cool.
and I was like, well, I'm like traveling now.
So that was your first time ever going on a
Yes,
plane?
yeah, I went
Oh
to
wow.
Tulane University,
That's
so in
cool.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
That was my first flight ever,
Yeah.
and started at OCC.
Okay.
Played for the great. I actually want to give him a shout out for the great John Altobelli. He passed away with Kobe Bryant, January 26th, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I started my journey, and I got to play and be around. I mean, never in my life would I thought I'd meet like Kobe Bryant. Some of these great.
You met these guys
Yeah,
just
these are
by being
just
by
by being in
playing?
baseball. Yeah, and like I said, networking is huge. And if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have met and played for some of these amazing coaches. And obviously at Long Beach State, a couple years we were ranked in the country, which is a pretty big accomplishment. Played in front of 17,000 fans. I mean, it was did the whole 9 yards. It was awesome.
Still coming up.
And since then, it's removed like I guess the worldly view and is more Christ centered view. And that's been huge for me because like you mentioned, it kind of every decision I make or every trial, everything I give to him, and he's really like my ultimate guidance.
SoCal homeowners, why pay $15, $20, or even $30,000 for a new roof when instead you can get a new roof for only less than $100 per month? Here at Master Roofing, we serve homeowners with high quality roofs with no hefty upfront costs. So give your house the roof it deserves with zero down and low monthly payments. Why wait? Click the link below to get you a roof you deserve for payments you can afford. How did you guys? What did you learn about like networking and building a team? Like, cause like you mentioned like all these networking. You ended up meeting like some of the top guys in the field, right? Like, how did you like start learning networking through that? And then like how has that helped you now like with what you're doing for business?
Definitely, I think just having the growth mindset
Mm-hmm.
and being able to connect with them, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned connection and being able to learn from them. Like, hey, what are they doing well, and what am I not? That looks like excellence. How do I get there? And I may not be there now, but how do I stack up against it, right? A lot of people say like comparison is the thief of joy. I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's true in certain ways, but I think
Mm-hmm.
it's also not true because if you can compare where you're at now and where you want to be, that's only fuel. That's only like I get up every day, okay, I'm not there, but I'm going to get there, right? And I think being around those excellent people allowed me to build new habits of, waking up early, being better, working out, and just finding the mental edge because I wasn't as good as some of the guys I was playing with, right? They were a
Mm-hmm.
lot more talented. They were a lot more physically gifted than I was. And I earned my talent through hard work. And that's been my life bloodline. Work hard and have fun.
I have the same mindset. Like you can't like the way that you can always win is like if you outwork everyone. You know what I mean? And so you wake up at what time every day?
I wake up around 6 every day.
Okay.
Yeah. So this year the goal is to be up by like 5:15.
Nice.
But you got to get to bed early for that. So
That's the key to
that's
waking
the
up
key right
early.
there.
Yeah.
It's hard to wake up early if you're not going to bed on time or
Hmm.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been on the to do. But I wake up 6 every day, and then attack the day right when I wake up, attack the day, get going, and just try to be excellent.
Um, let's kind of talk about roofing a little bit. We were just celebrating like our new partnership this year out in Las Vegas at the IRE. That was super fun going to the win. I mean, you guys took care of us too. We really want to acknowledge you for that and appreciate you for that. For you helping set all that up and everything. Um, and it goes a long way because you're really like you're investing in this relationship, and you know we're giving you guys the business, and we love the experience we've been having. What is it like from your perspective, like being you're on the supplier side, right, of the business, and basically you represent like one of the largest companies that just basically our superintendents are calling you. You're our face for ABC, and we're reaching out to you for whatever we need, whether it's materials, help with invoicing. Right? Like, you're the person we're gonna call first, right? And so IRE, like what was that experience like for you? Is it you've gone out there before,
Yes,
right, for the
yes.
IREs, and how does that like if there's other contractors listening, like they want to like go to these networking events, right? Meet these different vendors. Like what's your perspective on like the International Roofing Expo in Vegas, for example?
I think first of all, we had a blast. So
Yeah.
thank you and your wife for joining us out there and having a great time together. And the IRE is great because you get to one connect with different services that are in the industry, right? Whether it's financing, whether it's CRMs, right? And we spoke about now that we're talking about roofing. Roofing is headed towards an entire different, like it's a new generation now of roofing. It's a new era, and I think that those events like the IRE allow for people to connect and be able to add more tools to their game. So
It was cool walking around in there, like just seeing like some of the larger commercial like manufacturers that you don't see all the time. And Carlisle's like a big one. You know them better than me.
yeah,
And I mean that's like we have this huge vision, like, right? We want to be this $10 billion roofing company in the next 10 years, and getting there is gonna be like doing a lot of commercial work, right? Like government contracts, working on like schools, buildings, handling like large residential market as well. And I personally like learned a lot from just being around, seeing these huge brands. Right, we're not specialized in all of those yet, and it's like wow, there's so much opportunity. It really shows you like how big the industry is, and it kind of inspires you of like what's possible. Like they're selling these massive trucks there that the suppliers use, but some of these huge roofing companies they have their own, right? And so yeah, it was a super cool experience to see as well, and you meet a bunch of vendors of like financing companies, like new terms. Like we came back, we just started offering like 12 months, no payment, no interest on our roofing deals. So it's like that's just like a game changer right there. Like I was driving down the street a week before, saw this billboard for this other roofing company. It's like 12 months, no interest, no payment. I'm like, how the heck are they doing that? I went to the show and I started going to every booth and I was like, what's going on? How do
yeah.
you do this? How do
How
you
do
do
I
that?
get there? What do they
Yeah,
got? Yeah,
yeah. And then I have like a bunch of like flyers and things downstairs too of like all the different because it's a huge show. Like how many vendors are there? 1,000?
dude. It's I mean, there's
500?
like it's got to be more than that. It's just
Really?
like yeah, it's rows and rows. I mean, you. I think I did 18,000 steps
I
the
wore the
first
wrong
day.
shoes that day, bro. I came back with like
I should
blisters. I
have
had
warned
these
you.
dress shoes on, and I was like, yeah. I told ChatGPT help me pack for a Vegas trip for a
Yeah.
roofing conference, and it didn't do me well.
But yeah, I think the first day I did like 18,000 steps, and it's a lot of walking, but it's great because you get to connect. You get to see obviously the different vendors, and I mean ABC had two booths, which is pretty cool. No other manufacturer had two booths, so that's pretty cool.
And then we went with Jaron too, right? He's
Yep.
the manager of one of the stores out
Yeah.
in
San Juan Capistrano.
San Juan Capistrano. You guys are in the San Juan Capistrano
Yep.
branch. Um, how has like roofing changed like since Jaron was in the business to like the way it is now? Does he ever talk to you about that? Like 20 years back, what it was like versus now?
Yeah, he does. And obviously he's got a ton of knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think just seeing from how contractors, the speed of it,
Hmm.
right? Before, I think it was very like, we're going to get it done today, but the contract with the homeowner or, the business owner wasn't as clear, right? Now I mean, guys are flying drones over buildings, over, properties.
Yeah.
I think that's a game changer. Even just having like a quick measure, right? Because you can kind of speed's everything in this game, right? You have systems, you have speed, and if you have those two and accessibility, I mean, you're hard to beat, right? And the competition isn't going to be as good. So I would say that he's told me from 22 years ago, he's been in the industry for a long time, is just the speed of it, the speed and the accessibility, right? Like, hey, this is the damage on your roof that we're seeing from literal dronage, like drone footage, and also like everybody, and this is great because you get to see like some of the other roofing competitors that you're going against, and you're like, how am I different than them? Everybody says they're the best, right? But if you could literally see the work of the before and after, the homeowner decides themselves, right? And then they, give you like other leads, right? They got their neighbors that need their roof done and things like that. So
It's true. I like from what you're saying about I thought you were gonna go in a direction of the supplier side, but the actual like sales side, how they're selling like the roofs is it's so true. Like all our guys go out with drones. They have like a one of those like little giants, that they
yeah,
can use and
those are great
go up
ladders.
and
Yeah.
check it out. Dude, we started out with like the little telescopic ones, and it's like those were very flimsy. And it's like you got to invest in the right things for your team, and that's a very very important thing. But yeah, the doing it with the drones is very common now, and a lot of companies are doing it. I think it's gonna go to a point soon where it's like the drones are flying and then the robots are installing.
That'd be crazy. I wonder how many
Imagine
years that'll be,
like
but
those
that's
Elon Musk
yes.
robots, and then
Yeah,
they're up
like
on the
tear
roof
off
like
crew.
pop up.
Yeah, tear
Yep,
off crew
yeah,
installing,
yep,
carrying shingles up. I
yep.
mean, it's
And then
a
there's no because one of the highest costs in the roofing trade is like the workers' comp because of like just how it's a very dangerous trade. Like you're on the top of a roof, right? Like is it like when an insurance company's looking at it, they're like asking all these questions like you're wearing harnesses, are you doing this, are you doing that? Like they it's because and then a lot of people don't like do things the right way. So it's really important to do it the right way.
and I think like one thing that just came to mind
Hmm.
compared to like 22 years ago is for sure the safety aspect of it,
Hmm.
right? I think there's been new technology where you can detect like certain things that are already faulty on the roof, right? Whether it's like certain water tests or things like that that I think before were used, but not to the point of safety, right? Where a guy is not going to fall through the roof now, right? Or again, like we mentioned, it's a very dangerous trade, but I think we can mitigate or mimic or minimize is the right word. Like if we could see through the drone that there's literally an open hole or a skylight, like we're not going to step through it and fall through, right? Before we get up there.
A lot. I think that when people are starting out, they're a small little family company or something, they're not like having a safety meeting every 2 weeks. They're not really going over a topic, right? Um, Even for us, like in the beginning, it wasn't like it's not like a practice. You know what I mean? Like we are in the beginning, we were subcontracting, we are doing all these things. It's like, you know, not prioritizing safety. And luckily, we didn't have a ton of accidents, but there was like little things. Somebody was halfway up a ladder and their ankle rolled or something. Little things that could have been avoided. And so now it's like something that we always try and prioritize of like we have our superintendent now, he's over 20 years of experience, and he'll sit down with the guys and do a heat exhaustion training. Everyone signs a sheet that they did it, and like they go over how to put on a harness properly, like things that a lot of guys are doing it a long time. They're like, we don't need to know that, like but by not being reminded and not tracking it and having like a score of like how many accidents have we had, we want to have like a big thing of like keep a score. Hey, if we can get 200 days without accidents, we're doing this event together or whatever, right? And it's like motivating everyone to be safe. It's super important, especially in this industry and with the roofing, because I'm sure you, since you're connected with so many contractors, you've heard some horror stories
I have.
of like yeah. I've heard from my attorney, like when I was starting my company, he scared me a lot because he was saying that um he had a client that somebody was working on the roof and one of his workers fell through a skylight and died. And I was like it really puts into perspective like why you need to have safety as a priority in your company.
You have to, and I think it goes to show, right? Like your people are your most important asset,
Hmm.
right? And if they feel taken care of, they feel like you genuinely care about them, they're gonna show up and go the extra mile. Not only that, they're gonna show up to work happy. They're gonna know that they feel appreciated and valued. And I think that's huge, right? Because again, like we mentioned earlier, this is a hard trade, right? Like people are on a roof every day, and I can attest to you earlier saying that your superintendent does take care of your guys. I actually was out at a job site, and one of the guys didn't have their harness on, and he right away was like, "Hey," like they were just starting, so it was a good like he was. I'm sure he was gonna put it on, but he got it on right away because the super was very attentive to detail,
I love
and that
that. I
and
love
that goes
hearing
to
that,
show,
man.
and
I
that's
love
a real
hearing that.
story. Like
Yeah.
that's not like and it goes to show that if you build that culture, it becomes a habit, and it's like again, I've probably said it 20 times already, but excellence is like if you know what excellence looks like, whether you're putting on a harness, whether you're tying your shoes, like you're gonna be great. And if you have that culture, everybody wants to be great. And you know, great minds think alike. And if you have that environment and that system at your place, then it's only a matter of time before success comes.
What did you notice about our culture here at Master Roofing?
I love it. I think obviously the energy. Energy is huge for me, right? And energy in the sense of like guys are showing up wanting to be better and they want to do great at their craft. And whether it's from the guy leading your sales team or your operations manager, like everybody just wants to be great and they want to do more. They want to be more, they want to be better. And that I love that a lot. And that aligns a lot with my values. So I was like, what better partnership?
It's not by mistake. We really do a very like thorough interview process and make sure that people are goal oriented. Number one, you said like people want to be better. Like we want people like part of our interview process is like we ask them what their goals are. We want to see like if people don't have goals, they don't have like ambition, then they probably don't have like how are they going to bring that into your business if they don't have that in their personal life, right? So we've been like really selective on how we do that. So we were talking about faith in Vegas and stuff, and a little bit earlier as well. How has like your faith like impacted your life?
Oh, I love this topic, but faith is everything to me. I think, one of my greatest mentors, he sold this company for 15 million, is considered for
It's a
most
lot of money.
a
It's a
good
lot of
amount of
money,
money,
Javier. It's
right?
a lot of
Yeah.
money. Yeah.
And
If you have 15 million, you're retired for the rest of your
for
life.
sure, you can retire or, you can do whatever you want really. He's got the beautiful homes. He's got flies on private planes, like private jets. I mean, he does the whole thing. But I asked him one year because I was like, "Hey, how do I generate, this amount of money?" And he was like, "Javier, don't chase the money, chase God. Like the money will come." And since then, it's removed like, I guess the worldly view and is more Christ centered view, and that's been huge for me because like you mentioned, it kind of every decision I make or every trial, everything I give to Him, and He's really like my ultimate guidance. It's amazing. So I love talking about faith. So
I love that you have that connection with God and with Christ, and that you've let Him lead your life. And I think that's the kind of advice that's not really said a lot, especially when it comes to like business. Like somebody who's sold their company, been very successful. A lot of the time, they accredit it to like what they did and how they built it, and I did this myself, and I'm self made, and this and that. But I think allowing yourself to believe in like a higher power and believing like that um I can't do this alone, and somebody's got my back. It takes away a lot of the like pressure you put on yourself also.
absolutely. I mean, you're walking that walk every day. Like you wake up and you have to worry about your teams. You have to worry about the operation of the business. You have to worry about the finances of the business, right? And that's so much added stress, right? But if you know that at the end of it, what really matters is, serving him and if you have his like guidance and morals, like you're gonna treat people well, and that's just good energy and good environment.
My wife and I have been going to church, since we started dating 4 years ago, together, and we ended up going and joining like a life group. I told you about this at our church back like in October of last year, and we've grown in our faith a lot. Meeting it was kind of like perfect. We met a lot of other friends and couples that just like that are our age. We did the first we were I think we met for like 20 weeks now. We were talking about the other
Wow.
night. We meet like every Tuesday, and now we're actually starting to meet here at the warehouse.
Let's go.
And so it's kind of cool like to see, and the facilitator, the leader who kind of started, like when we all like met and everything. And everyone's kind of a similar life stage. Everyone's engaged or just got married, and they're all like right around our age. Like some are like as young as 21. The oldest is like 32, and so it's kind of like we're all going through similar things in our lives, just in completely different ways. Like one guy's a sheriff, one guy's like he works for a company that basically produces like all the displays in Costco. Like when
Wow.
you buy chips, Doritos, like any like it's like all these random people I would probably would have never met if it wasn't through this. And we're all like on our journey of like our faith journey and what we're believing in and everything. And it's cool to have that community because we go to like such a large church. It's like they have like 7 services at Mariners like a weekend, and there's like 500 to 1,500 people there every service, and so it's very hard to meet people. So this was like our way of getting connected, and we were having some trials in the business with like finances and just like things were getting tight, and like we've been invested so much back into the company to grow it, and the overhead cut kind of heavy, and it was just like a stressful time, and kind of right when we joined that group, and then just like sharing that with them, and then like everyone praying for each other and having that like support. It helped us a lot, and now it's kind of like no matter what happens, it's like Jesus is the CEO, and I'm kind of just looking at like I'm just there to like be a good steward and serve. And having that mindset shift allows you to be a better leader to your team. It allows you to be less stressed because you're kind of like you're trusting that God's going to take care of it, and you're not putting it all on your shoulders alone.
Amen. That's powerful right there. Powerful.
Yeah. So, ABC, right? How long have you been working with them?
ABC Supply, this is month 4 now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Month 4.
you were in the industry at
I
a
was in the
previous
industry.
company, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
This is year 4 for me now in the industry.
Okay.
I was at a different supplier before,
Yeah.
covering the LA market.
Mhm.
So obviously, I live in Costa Mesa. So now being able to attack the Orange County market has been a lot of fun, and I'm so excited.
Dude, you're like a relentless relationship builder.
Relentless, relentless.
How did you meet me?
I think
Honestly, tell the story.
the story, how I met
Do
you.
you remember exactly like the first time you came here, how it all started?
I think
How you
the
got
very first
you go on
time.
Google and like look for roofing companies? Like how did it start?
No, actually, funny enough.
I wanna
All
hear
right,
this.
this is actually a great story
Okay.
because it's genuine. Um, the very first time I ever saw your building,
Mhm.
uh, I was actually going to a date, um, to the beautiful lady who's now my fiance, and I had to use the restroom really bad.
Mhm.
So there's a 7-Eleven, right across the street, and I was obviously scrambling. I had flowers in my truck,
Okay.
and I was trying really hard to find a restroom,
Got it.
and thankfully got lucky, found a restroom,
Yep.
you know, went to restroom before I went to the date. And I remember looking across and seeing this beautiful building. I was like, wow, it's really nice. And not very far from my home. So I was like, man, like one day that is gonna be my customer.
So like the roofing sign?
Yep. Saw the number and the roofer on there. I was
The
like, wow.
877 roofer.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And I was like, perfect. That's gonna be my partner one day. And, I kind of planted that seed then. And then over time, I started just driving by it. There's a nice little restaurant next door that I've been to as well. Again, seen it multiple times. And actually, my remembrance of our very first interaction, I walked in, loved the office setup. I was like, wow, there's,
What did you love about it?
USA flag, Mexico flag. I see a Mike Trout jersey, which obviously you got Master Roofing did Mike Trout's house, which is a big deal. I'm a huge Mike Trout fan. So that was like, whoa, these guys are like, they're making their mark in the industry, right? I mean, you're doing uh, what's probably considered one of the best players of all time's home. So that's a big deal. And that just showed me the culture right away. And I remember meeting you and the team, and just everybody was locked in, right? And usually I'm respectful of people's time because I don't think stopping in or dropping in is the most appropriate thing. So I like to set appointments. But I wanted you to know who I was before we obviously set up appointments. And I kept showing up, and I keep
You
showing
did,
up.
bro.
Yeah.
You did kept showing up. You just kind of just you were I think that's something that's great about you, and I will acknowledge that is that you just like you just kind of show up and be yourself and just kind of bring space to people to communicate with you, and you're not like you're not really like pushing an agenda or anything, but you're just like showing up like you're part of the team. I think that's the way I've seen you show up like with us, which was like great with us. I look at that Halloween party we did for our team, and like, we invited our suppliers and everything, and then, you guys were the ones that actually showed up. You came part of it.
Came
You know
we
what I
came up
mean? Like you
dressed too.
came dressed up, bro.
Yeah.
Like you stayed the whole time. You just kind of hung out. Like you were trying to talk to me. It was a little awkward. We don't really know each other, but you just kind of stuck with it and just like you had an intention of like I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna build a relationship with these guys, and it was great. And so you'll be very successful building relationships just by doing that, giving space. And I think I learned that from you also just by seeing that. I recognize that now because I just did a communication course over the weekend, and a lot of the things I learned are things that you're doing naturally, which is great. Yeah,
Thank you. That's all that's all God's gifts right there,
yeah.
and I think my thing is always like never ever give up, right? Whether that's, meeting somebody that you want to meet or building a partnership that you want. It's not giving up and knowing that usually the guys that are the hardest to connect with are, great at something and they have their own gifts. And if you continue to have that growth, like, hey, I want to learn from you, then it's just gonna flow and it's a matter of time, right? Like
We keep talking about partnership. What does partnership look like for you between Master Roofing and ABC?
it's one that, when God willing, if God blesses me with kids or, however long that's from now, 10 to 15 years, like I want it to be a lifelong partnership, not just, hey, this year, like we're doing it, right? It's like, no, like I want it to be long term. And I want us to really have that genuine, like, I want to see you win. And obviously we win together, right? And ultimately, I'm a unpaid master roofing employee. Like really, like I want to help the business, be part of the business. And thankfully, I want to give a shout out to ABC Supply because they give me the tools to do that for you.
You touched on a lot of good things there. Do you always look at like every relationship you have with a roofer as a partnership, or did I plant that seed in you when I said like we're gonna be partners?
No, I feel like I approach it that way for sure because it's not like I don't, I mean, other people can attest to this, but I don't look at it as like, hey, one day to the next. Like I view it as like a long term deal. It's like I have guys that I've dealt with for 3 years. I have guys that I've dealt with for 2 years, right? And I want to, as
I would
time goes, I want to keep going.
all my top sales guys, like guys that are just constantly going out to appointments where people need an estimate for a leak and actually coming back with a contract because they built so much value with that customer wants to work with them. All of those guys are relationship guys. They're never the guy that wants to come in and make money quick and do that. They're like the long vision. Like I want to be here. I want to build a relationship. You see it the way they follow up with their customers. They like I have Nick, for example, in my company, somebody to think of and acknowledge. He always writes a handwritten thank you card. He's always my top rep. This month he closed over $200,000, and he's constantly like the 200 is just a scoreboard, but he's not like looking at, oh, I need to work anymore, I'm good for the month. Like every day showing up, doing the same thing, giving it 100%, following the sales process every single time, like doing what he needs to do, following up with customers, writing a handwritten thank you letter, even if they bought or didn't buy, whatever. It could be an appointment that they didn't buy anything from, but he just wants to send them a letter. And it's not, it's like obviously he wants to get sales and get a deal, but it's really deeper than that for him. It's more of like, I want to make sure these people are taken care of. I want to make sure they're using the right company. I actually care that I don't want them to have a problem with their company. I want them to work, and he believes that, and he gives that to the customer, and then in turn he gets rewarded for that. And so it's it's really great.
You
It's really
you
great.
touched on some great things there as well, right? Of obviously providing value and being, I think, ultimately having your why, right? And that's I think what separates Master Roofing from any other company is that your why is so very well rooted and it's your core, right? And if you have your why in every person that steps and has a Master Roofing hat, shirt, gear on, like they're gonna give you their best. And that not only is Nick, but everybody, right?
And dude, my vision is to have like 200 Knicks, like 500 Knicks throughout the United States. They're just like A players that are showing up, giving our because and if we can find those people and one of mentors I had taught me this concept of like your customers are not the people who buy the roofs. those are your customers, but the other customers are the people who wear the Master Roofing shirts. You need to take care of both of them and treat them both, as a customer, right? Like they're a different kind of customer. But if you take care of the ones that are wearing the shirts, they're gonna take care of the ones that pay for the roofs. And so that's like a really big thing. I know we were talking about how big ABC Supply is, and it was a husband and wife, and the wife, the founder, is still running it, and she's billionaire worth $25 billion or something crazy, and like
Yes.
and my wife heard that and she's like, I want to be like the roofing queen. You know what I mean? Like I like, because it just, I think, opened her eyes to like what's possible in like in this industry, right? And it's it's pretty amazing. I think that's a good testament to show that like somebody taking care of their people and they were able to build a massive business. Um,
Absolutely.
Building relationships, did you learn that through ABC, or was that something that you just kind of brought with you before that, or do they also talk about the long-term relationship?
I think there's two parts to that. I think that I've always kind of had a little bit of a gift at just like having, I think the right word would be like genuine curiosity of wanting to be better, which I think for me again helps me connect with people and learn like want to genuinely learn from somebody, right? And I think also ABC Supply does do a great job of training our team and building that relationship and I think ultimately, right, it is that partnership and it is the people. And to connect back, our CEO, she has 100-year vision, right? And I think that's
Wow.
really impressive compared to like
What's the 100-year vision?
she has like
Do you know it?
they want to keep it first generation. So they want to like never sell, which I think if you've seen like there's nothing wrong with it, right? But a lot of the other suppliers have sold to other, you know, owners, you could say, other equity. But I think that that's pretty special, right? To be the biggest roofing distributor in the world, really. So and be the best service, everything, and really help our customers' life easier.
We need people like Javier working at Master Roofing.
We need people like Quinn continuing to lead Master Roofing.
You're you talked about you got engaged recently. What do you want to say about that?
Man, I'm excited and all glory to God. Yeah, I got engaged in December, so
You
it
did
was,
a very cool engagement.
I did, I
You
did.
showed me your engagement video with a horse up the mountain,
Yeah,
and had her whole family there waiting
yes,
with a huge heart of roses, and like a beautiful display and everything. That was amazing, bro.
I went all out.
My wife got mad at me saying I didn't do it right. The part I messed up on with my wife is I didn't have like her family there. That's
Your proposal
huge.
was beautiful though. Well,
I think it was beautiful, but I think the family is like the part that you were so smart. Like yours was gorgeous too, bro.
thank you, and I
I
think
surprised her with a photo shoot. I told you, right? Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that was nice. But for me, we're both very family oriented, and I consider myself just somebody that's family oriented,
Mm-hmm.
and they are part of my why.
Love that.
So I think that like having them there was essential. Like having them be able to be a part of it. She told me she's like I don't want them in our hair, but I also want them to be
Present.
within a distance where they can see it, they can feel the energy, and let it be special. You know?
I love that, bro. Well, congratulations on
Thank you,
the
thank you,
engagement.
thank
And
you.
when's the wedding?
Man, that's a hard question.
Let's put a date now,
We're
bro.
putting a date right now.
You
um,
thinking like the next year, or when are you guys thinking next year or
we're
two?
thinking next year or two.
Yeah,
Um, it's
a lot
something
of
that
work, bro.
it's a lot of I know a lot of planning, a lot of
They,
work.
do you guys have a big family?
Huge, huge.
It's gonna
That's
be
the
a big
hard part
wedding.
about it. There's gonna be 200 to 300 people there easily,
Crazy, man.
easily.
Where
She's
do you know
Colombian.
where you want to do it?
I kind of want to keep the ranch theme. So when we
Okay,
got engaged,
I can see
we
that.
did a horse ride,
Yeah,
trail
yeah.
up to the spot, which was pretty neat. And I think that if we could have everybody on the ranch, keep it very, just party, just have fun, everybody dancing, good environment, good food. It's kind of the goal, but as you know nowadays, weddings are also like a really expensive cost of life. So It's something
I'm
that
socking away money every single month, bro, for our round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting. I hope I'm excited to see and see the plan of that big party. So that'll be fun for you.
Yeah.
But it's something.
Mexico City for us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and her whole family will be there too, which is awesome.
Yeah, we want to try and do something cool there. We did it here, and most of her family couldn't be there, so it'll be cool to do it.
Have everybody there.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Ranch theme.
Yeah, ranch theme. There's no curfew really. Not that
Nice.
you want to go past the 10 p.m., but
Yeah.
it's nice to have guests still even after, right? Sharing laughs, chatting.
My wife's family can go to 5 a.m. man.
Dude.
So
I'm Mexican, bro. They go till the next day, But
yeah, my wife's Mexican, and I'll be at the house, and it's 5. It's like 1 o'clock, and everyone's just starting, and I'm like, and more people are arriving, and I'm like, baby, good night, everyone.
PJs are on. You're
Buenos
all right.
noches.
Yeah, buenos noches. That's good. Yeah,
I'm going to bed.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's the thing with the culture, huh?
It's a big culture thing.
Yeah.
So my fiance is Colombian, and they have more of a standard Christmas and Thanksgiving, and obviously she's gotten to spend 2 years now with our families, and she gets impressed every time. She's like, man, it's they're up till 3 a.m. and they're full of energy. They're dancing.
Wait, so your wife's family
doing
doesn't do
karaoke.
that? Not as
They
much?
do it, but not as much.
Interesting. Okay.
They're more just
Chill.
yeah, they're more chill.
Okay.
Opposed to my family.
My
it's
family is very chill.
Yeah.
We'll go over, watch a movie. That's it.
Exactly. My family, 3
9
a.m.
o'clock.
3
It's time to go to bed.
3 a.m. They're singing karaoke still, and it's
Yeah.
Christmas songs.
Yeah.
You name it,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. We just did Christmas in Mexico, and
A lot of fun though. It's
a lot of energy.
a lot of good energy.
Yeah.
And it makes it, because I feel like in my family we work so hard so that when we do get
Work hard, play
vacations,
hard.
vacation should feel like a vacation, right?
Yeah.
And when you get that time with family, it's best.
Yeah.
Get to disconnect, because that when you're working,
Mhm.
you're giving it your all, and then now that you connect with family, it's family only.
Yeah. I love that. Awesome, bro. Where can people find you and follow your journey, man, or do business with you?
I mean, they can reach me on social media. Obviously, maybe we'll tag my link on there, but
Yeah.
just my name, Javier Rosales, and I'm excited for the future of Master Roofing, and it's in great hands, and I'm excited to see the growth.
It's in God's hands, bro.
It's in God's hands. Godspeed.
All right, guys. Javier's story shows us what happens when discipline meets vision, when you decide to build your future brick by brick. If this episode gave you insight, inspiration, or a roadmap for your own journey, make sure to follow Built to Scale, share this episode, and tag us with your biggest takeaway. If you're new here, subscribe so you never miss stories, strategies, and the step-by-step breakdowns from people who are building greatness from the ground up. Javier, thank you, bro, for being here and sharing your blueprint. And then for everyone listening, keep pushing, keep building, and remember, success is something you scale.